Throughout my life, I've been really good at procrastinating and not being productive in the present moment. When I have stuff to do, I'll just put it off for as long as possible. I'll find anything and everything in the present moment that isn't that one thing that I have to do, and I'll put it off until it's due or that I have to get it done or I want to get it done. I'm extremely productive once that does happen and that deadline is approaching. And there are different methods that you can use and implement when you are trying to be productive. And I'm just going to go over some that have worked for me in the past and what I've been implementing recently that have worked really well for me. And the last one that I'll include is one that I've recently implemented that's worked really well for me, and I'm going to be continuing to use it because of how well that it did actually work for me. So the first one that I would say is, in the past, when I have that something that I have to get done and it doesn't get done until it has to be done, it's because it's the only thing that has to get done. It's the most important thing. I need to get that done ASAP. So what I would say is take your to-do list and narrow it down to just your top one priority and just do that one thing each and every day. If you do that one thing each and every day, that's going to be 365 most important tasks that you do throughout the year. And we often get caught up where we're doing a lot of different tasks and we actually end up doing really well on the day. Say we crush out, say 5 or 10 tasks on our to-do list, but it's not really that highest important task. So we look back on the day and think that we didn't really do that good because we didn't get that one task that we wanted to get done. We got a bunch of these small ones and then we end up beating ourselves up even though we actually had a pretty productive day, but we just didn't get that main task that we wanted to get done. And then we just kind of put ourselves down because we didn't get that main task done. So what I would say is take your to-do list, narrow it down to your highest priority, what you want to get done today. I've actually done this in the past few days, and what I've found that's been working is that I'm able to get that highest priority task done, and not only that, I'm able to go on to my other tasks that I do have to get done, but they aren't really my highest priority tasks. So not only am I getting my highest priority task done, I'm also working on my next ones that I have to do as well. The next one kind of plays into the first one where it's the 80-20 rule or the Pareto Principle, where 80% of your outcome comes from 20% of your actions. So it's basically just boiling down all your highest priority tasks because those are going to give you the best ROI and you want to stick with those, and then you're going to have a lot of these other tasks that you have to do, but they aren't going to result in a lot of your outcome. So you want to narrow that list down as much as possible. I would say just find your top priority for that day because over a year span, that's going to result in 365 most important tasks done every day. Or you could do the 80-20 rule where you choose your 20% highest conviction actions that you need to do that's going to result in 80% of your outcomes. With self-control and self-discipline, this can be really tough, especially with our phones and having them right next to us. Even if they don't go off, we're just so used to, or we've built up a habit where we just pick it up, start scrolling on our phones, or even if we don't even have any notifications, we're just going in and out of different apps, which may lead to being on our phones a lot longer than we'd like to. And we just start scrolling on certain apps and we just get stuck in that black hole and it just keeps sucking us in and we stay on our phones way longer than we expected. So self-discipline and self-control with our phones is really tough. So what I usually end up doing is turning my phone on airplane mode and just flipping it over or putting it not near me. Basically what you want to do is put as many obstacles in the way from you getting to your phone, and you're gonna have a less likely chance of you going to check your phone or go on it. Say you're working in your office and you put your phone downstairs in a drawer, you turn it off and you close that drawer up and your office is upstairs, you're gonna have a lot of obstacles in the way to get to your phone, and that's basically what you wanna do. Just so it's not easily accessible for you to grab it, pick it up, start scrolling, or check your phone for notifications. Next, having or creating a dedicated work area or space where all you do is your specific task that you want to get done. I read this book once where this group of students, they knew someone that worked at the library that gave them this special room, and when they went into this room, all they ever talked about was business ideas or business and nothing else in that room. And once they got in that room, phones were off, and all that the discussion was about was their business or business ideas and how they improve it. And when you have this dedicated work area space, you're able to get a lot more done. You're distraction free and you're just able to crush out a lot more. And there's other similar stories like this where there's authors that would get in a hotel room and all they would do there is work on their story because it's a distraction free room and it's their dedicated workspace area. And all that they're allowed to do there is their work and crush that out. And you have this dedicated space where that's all you're allowed to do. You go there, you work, you're not allowed to check your phone, and you don't have those bad habits built up. You're able to get a lot more done. And that's why you see a lot of these remote jobs, they go out to different coffee shops or whatever their specific space is, because when they go there, they crush out a lot of work and they know that they're only allowed to work on their specific job and they don't have those bad habits built up. And it's just a different area and a different space to get you in a different frame of mind where this is what you're allowed to do and this is what you're going to do. And then you end up crushing out a lot of stuff. If you struggle to get a lot of work done when there's a lot of background noises, say in a coffee shop, you can't really work because of all that noise. The next option I would say is find a quiet time of the day that you can do your work. It doesn't have to be in the morning, but if you are a morning person, that's a perfect opportunity to do it. Or if you are a night person, doing it before bed, just because there's no distractions, there's not really anyone up. So if you get up at 5 or whenever it is, you're typically up before a lot of other people, your phone's not buzzing from notifications, and you're able to have this quiet time. Especially at nighttime, if you're staying up later than everyone else, you're typically not gonna have those notifications. You're gonna be able to get off your phone and have that quiet, dedicated space and time to crush out a lot of work. Over the last couple weeks, I've been applying this one and it's worked really well for me. And so far it's one of my favorite things to do, but it's creating blocks. You wanna have productive blocks and unproductive blocks. I know unproductive blocks might sound counterintuitive since we're trying to be productive, but unproductive blocks are actually key because we do burn out, we aren't robots, and we can't be going 24/7 being productive nonstop. I know I've struggled with this in the past and still currently do, and I'm always trying to work on it, but we can't be productive nonstop. We need to have these scheduled breaks in our day, whether it's an hour, a 2 hour, or just 15-minute breaks here and there throughout the day. It's just vital for us to take these breaks just so we don't end up burning out. We can go for walks, go on our phones, watch TV. It's just key to split it up. But the thing is, you don't want to create these long periods of time when you're being unproductive, say taking like a 10-hour unproductive break. You don't really want to get too excessive with it, especially now, because I know you can get lost on your phone, and I know it's happened to me before too, where I just get on my phone and I just keep going and I just don't stop, and all of a sudden it's 3 hours later and I'm like, wow, time just flew by there. You don't really want that to happen. You want to be able to monitor it and make sure you're not taking excessively long breaks during your unproductive time. And for me personally, I've struggled with this because I'm always trying to be productive and I feel bad when I take these unproductive breaks. But what I've noticed with taking these breaks, I've been able to knock out my most important task because of these breaks. I wouldn't say it's directly related, but I think it has a huge part in it because I say, all right, I'm gonna take an hour break here, and then after that, I'm gonna get to my most important task, and then I'm gonna knock that out. And usually I end up doing that, and it's been pretty good for me recently. In getting into the productive block, there's a specific way that you wanna go about this, is taking 2 hours, and within that 2 hours, you do 25-minute intervals with a 5-minute break. And I take my phone completely out of it. I turn on airplane mode, so there's no distractions there. And what you want to do is have these 25-minute intervals where you work on your task. And within that 25 minutes, you're able to get a lot done. But then after that, you want to take a 5-minute break. You don't want to go on your phone and check that. You basically want to change up the scenery, go outside, stare at trees, do whatever you want. That's what I typically do. I just go outside and stare at nature or stare at a tree or stare at grass and kind of sit there for the 5 minutes. Then once the 5 minutes is up, come back in, go for 25 minutes again, and basically repeat that for 1 more hour. The reason you want to break it up into these 25-minute intervals is because that there's this study that shows when we're working on a task, we peak around 10 minutes and then we start declining after that. And then at about 25 minutes, it's just going down. And this is when you want to take a break because you're going to be going down and you don't have that peak anymore. So once you hit that 25 minutes, you go and have that 5-minute break, you come back, and then you're going to hit that 10-minute peak again, and then you're going to start going back down. So it's just kind of a pattern that you get into, and you're just going to have these little waves. And over that 25-minute, 2-hour period, you're going to be able to crush out a lot. Because for me, I had this blog that I wanted to get done and I just kept pushing it off and did not get any of it done. But once I set up this 2-hour interval, I was able to knock it out. And this is something that was taking me longer than a week to do. And in 1 2-hour period, I was able to knock it out completely. And a little bonus tip that I'm going to leave you on is having noise canceling headphones and playing music like binaural beats or something like that where there's no lyrics and it just gets you in the zone. For me, I ended up buying noise canceling headphones, and the purpose of these was specifically work. Whenever I had those on, I'm in the zone. I'm not listening to any distractions, and I'm not really listening to any music with these specific headphones. They have a specific purpose, and that's to get work done. So when I have those on, I get in the zone and I basically block out any distractions that I have. With these playlists, you can have a specific playlist that you listen to every single time that you want to get into one of these productive blocks, where your mind knows once this playlist is on, I get to work and I get everything done. So you can try having your own specific playlist that you like and that you'll listen to every time. And once it's on, you just go to work and you get everything done. You don't have to apply all these different actions. You can just take one or two of these away and apply that to your work and try and crush stuff out. And hopefully it does help you out, get more productive, crush stuff out, and actually achieve your tasks and your goals. As always, thanks for watching, and let's level up.